So I'm Tony Kelly. I'm a neighborhood advocate in the southeast neighborhoods of San Francisco. I'm a candidate this year for District 10 seat on the Board of Supervisors. I've also been part of the Stop Lennar action movement for about 10 to 12 years now, and that was a coalition of neighborhood groups, neighbors around the shipyard. Dr. Somchai was part of that, members of the Restoration Advisory Board, Green Action for Health and Environmental Justice, the Nation of Islam, the Hunters View Mothers and Fathers Committee, and other advocates who worked together 10 years ago to try to raise awareness and demand a better cleanup of the shipyard then and now, and this extends to today. Now, we've been demanding a cleanup for a long time, but demands start as cries for help. And so as these two gentlemen are inside this building auditioning to be the Chief Executive Officer of the state of California, and they'll be in charge of the State Department of Public Health, which has now been tasked with the cleanup of the shipyard after the city lost trust in the Navy, after the residents of the city lost trust in the city's Department of Public Health, and after 30 years of cleanup of the shipyard, no one with any authority can say with any authority that any part of the shipyard is safe. I want to remind you of some stories because we in the neighborhood have known this for a very long time. This is not a new story in the neighborhoods of the southeast of San Francisco. So just a few people before I bring it back home to the folks inside this building right now. I'll just mention a few residents who are there today. I'm not going to mention too much about the previous whistleblowers, men like Chris Carpenter, who passed away a few years ago, was one of the first whistleblowers about what was going on at the shipyard with fraudulent cleanup of toxins. But I'll mention a gentleman up on Bridgeview. I won't mention his name right here, but he was a trucker for Lennar, and there were truckloads leaving in the middle of the night with toxic loads that weren't being scanned, and he told that to his bosses. And he doesn't believe that the shipyard can ever be cleaned up because he's seen how the cleanup has been handled, and that's why he is no longer a trucker for Lennar at the shipyard. There's a gentleman up on the Jackie Robinson Apartments up near Hudson. And I knocked on his door a little while ago, and I thought he was 66. It says officially he's 66 years old. He looks 86. He has two insurance companies. Those insurance companies are fighting because they can't decide whether it's the asbestos dust or the radiation that got him. There's two gentlemen near Harbor Road that I spoke to. One, his son was doing homework, went from while we were talking, and he built some of the expensive condos at the shipyard. And he says, a lot of us out here, we have asthma, we have cancer. We know that the women in the southeast of the city have an 8 times higher rate of breast cancer, a 6 times higher rate of infant mortality than white women elsewhere in the city. We have up to a 14-year shorter life expectancy in the southeast part of San Francisco compared to Russian Hill. And we talked about this, and he said, hey, you got to talk to my buddies up the street near Harbor because their entire family has asthma and you should talk to them. So I went up and knocked on their door. And they said, oh, well, did you talk to our buddy down at the corner? And I said, yeah, I sure did. That's how I know about you guys. And he said, did he tell you about his kid? And I said, yeah, I talked to his son. His son was doing homework right in front of me. No. Did you talk to his daughter? His daughter who died at 20 months of age in 2012 of cancer. These stories are not unique. These stories are common.
Yes, sir.
In the southeast of San Francisco, just like they're common on Treasure Island.
Yes.
And it is on the watch of the chief executive officers of the city and county of San Francisco and the state of California that this has happened. And that's why we need to keep this in the public eye, and they need to address this as they discuss the affairs of the state in this building today. And I'll close with this. In 2010, when the final approvals were being determined for the shipyard development, Mayor Newsom's Department of Public Health and Mayor Newsom's Office of Economic and Workforce Development wrote in testimony and spoke in public and testimony before the Board of Supervisors that as of then, in 2010, the shipyard was clean and ready for development. And as of 2010, there is nothing in the soil of the Hunters Point shipyard that cannot be touched, tasted, or breathed for 30 years daily and affect your health. That was what led to the approvals of the shipyard development, and we know that we are still finding toxic material there today. It is time for Mayor Newsom and the corporate-controlled city establishment and government of the city and county of San Francisco to eat shipyard dirt. It is time they own up to their responsibilities. make good on their responsibilities to the people of San Francisco, and especially the southeast of San Francisco, and tell us how they're going to protect us today when they have failed that for 30 years. Thank you for listening.
I'd like them to eat Treasure Island dirt as well.
Thank you.